You stand at a pivotal moment, a crossroads that defines your life's trajectory. One path is worn, familiar, and safe, a road paved with excuses, fear, and the comfort of the known. It leads to a small existence where potential withers and dreams fade into regrets. The other path is rugged, uncharted, and daunting, demanding courage, relentless discipline, and unwavering action. This is the path to your true power, the life you were born to live, a life of purpose, impact, and unyielding greatness. The choice is yours. Will you cling to the weaker version of yourself, or will you shed it like dead weight and step boldly into your destiny? This is your moment. Don't squander it by staying small. You are not a finished product. The idea that who you are today is your final form is a dangerous lie, a trap that locks you into mediocrity. Life doesn't demand that you freeze in place. It commands you to evolve, to stretch beyond your current limits, to grow into the person you're capable of becoming. Growth isn't a privilege reserved for the naturally gifted or the fortunate. It's a duty you owe to yourself, to those who depend on you, and to the legacy you'll leave behind. The weaker version of you is merely a shadow, a timid whisper against the thunderous potential roaring within your soul. Picture an acorn refusing to become an oak tree. What a tragic waste. You are the oak, not the acorn. Every day you remain stagnant, you deny yourself the exhilaration of discovering what you can truly achieve. Your comfort zone is a gilded cage adorned with familiar routines and predictable outcomes. It promises safety but delivers a slow death of ambition. True growth thrives at the edges of discomfort, where uncertainty collides with courage. Remember learning to walk as a child? You fell countless times, scraped knees, stumbled, yet never once concluded that walking wasn't for you. That raw, unyielding persistence still pulses within you, waiting to be unleashed. Your potential doesn't diminish with age. It expands with every experience, every challenge conquered, every lesson carved from failure. The universe hasn't finished crafting your story. There are chapters yet unwritten, talents undiscovered, impacts unmade. To settle now is to slam the book shut before its climax. Look to nature for proof. Rivers carve canyons through unyielding stone. Seeds split concrete to reach the sun. Stars explode to birth new galaxies. You are woven into this cosmic tapestry of transformation, bound by its universal law of growth. Reject the seductive voice that whispers, "Enough." Your greatest self lies ahead, not behind. What dream have you buried? What skill have you neglected? What truth have you dodged? These aren't idle questions. They're beacons guiding you to your next evolution. Will you live and die as a dim echo of your potential, or will you ignite with the fire of transformation and become the masterpiece you were destined to be? Shatter the chains of excuses. Excuses are the shackles you forge, link by link, to protect the fragile, weaker self. They slither into your mind, whispering, "Not today, maybe tomorrow, you're not ready." They dress themselves as wisdom, but they are thieves, stealing your destiny one rationalization at a time. Every time an excuse surfaces, crush it with immediate action. Do the thing you fear. Step boldly where you feel timid. Excuses offer comfort, but chain you to stagnation. They sound convincing. "I'll start when the time is right. I don't have enough resources. I'm too old, too young, too busy." But they're illusions that bind you to a life of mediocrity. The real tragedy isn't failure. It's never daring to try because you've convinced yourself the attempt is futile. Benjamin Franklin didn't hide behind "not today." He crafted a system of daily virtues, building greatness through relentless consistency, not fleeting bursts of inspiration. Your liberation lies in demolishing excuses before they demolish you. When the voice of resistance rises, see it for what it is, fear masquerading as reason. Act despite doubt, despite imperfect conditions, despite the chorus of naysayers. Champions, innovators, and trailblazers don't wait for a perfect stage. They perform on the one they're given. Challenge yourself to live one day free of excuses. Banish "I can't" from your vocabulary and watch how your choices shift. Capability expands when you interrogate limitations instead of accepting them. Name the excuse you've cradled as truth. Are you brave enough to sever it at the root? Your potential lies just beyond the wall of "I can't." Your greatness awaits on the other side of "not yet." These chains are of your own making, but the key to freedom is in your hands. Wield it. Break free from the coffin of comfort. Comfort is a silent assassin, sweet as nectar, but lethal as venom. The weaker self craves its embrace, but you are forged for conquest, not complacency. Every step beyond your comfort zone is a strike against fragility. Start small. Take the cold shower, spark the awkward conversation, push 1 mile past your limit. Greatness doesn't reside in ease. It thrives in the crucible of discomfort. Your spirit wasn't designed to stagnate. History's giants Thomas Edison, who endured thousands of failures to illuminate the world, didn't nestle into routine. They clawed forward, bleeding if necessary, sacrificing comfort on the altar of achievement.
Your muscles grow through the burn of resistance. Your mind sharpens through the strain of challenge. Why expect your character to flourish in softness? Comfort whispers seductive lies. You've earned a break. Why push when you can glide? But choosing ease is choosing decay. Your ancestors didn't have the luxury of comfort. They battled predators, endured brutal winters, crossed oceans, and built civilizations, all while embracing discomfort as the price of survival. Clinging to ease dishonors their resilience, squandering the iron will encoded in your DNA.
Break free. Embrace voluntary hardship. The cold shower becomes a triumph before your day begins. The difficult conversation forges deeper bonds. The extra mile, when your body screams to stop, proves your spirit is unbreakable. Comfort crafts a life of what if and if only. Discomfort sculpts a life of I did and I became. Every leap forward in human history, art, science, technology, justice, was born from someone rejecting the status quo, enduring ridicule, persisting through failure. Will you trade eternal greatness for fleeting ease? When you rest tonight, will you know you slayed a weakness today, or will you cling to the fading warmth of good enough? Your legacy demands an answer. Discipline, the forge of destiny. Desire is a spark, bright, fleeting, and fragile. Discipline is the fire that endures, the forge where your stronger self is shaped. It shows up when excitement wanes, when comfort begs you to stay in bed, when the world offers 1,000 distractions. Discipline anchors small daily wins to your deepest dream. Celebrate consistency over intensity. The graveyard of potential is littered with brilliant minds who burned hot with passion but fizzled out without discipline. They started with fire in their eyes, only to vanish when the flame dimmed. The world doesn't reward sporadic brilliance. It honors relentless consistency. The writer who crafts one page daily will author volumes while the occasional genius stalls, paralyzed by perfectionism. The athlete who trains in obscurity outpaces the naturally gifted who only practice when inspired. George Washington, frozen and exhausted, crossed the Delaware through sheer discipline, not a fleeting burst of emotion, becoming the father of a nation. Motivation is a fickle friend, showing up on sunny days and vanishing in storms. Discipline is the bedrock beneath monuments that stand for centuries.
Begin with small, sacred commitments. The alarm clock obeyed without negotiation, the promise kept when no one watches, the temptation resisted when indulgence feels justified. Each victory strengthens the muscle that carries you to greatness. The undisciplined mind bargains, citing exhaustion or special circumstances. The disciplined mind acknowledges these, but refuses to be ruled by them. Are your actions tethered to fleeting moods or rooted in unshakable commitment? Dreams without deadlines are fantasies. Ambition without action is wishful thinking. Discipline transforms desires into destiny. Rewire your mind for unstoppable power.
Your mind has been mismanaged by fear, laziness, and doubt. Corrupt leaders who've bankrupted greater souls than yours. Fire them. Audit your thoughts ruthlessly, evicting those that sabotage your vision. Plant seeds of power, belief, and determination, and water them with action. Your mind wasn't shaped by you alone. It carries the fears of parents, the limits of teachers, the insecurities of peers, and a society that profits from your self-doubt. Every thought either lifts you toward greatness or drags you into mediocrity. There's no neutral ground. Doubt triggers cortisol, weakening your body. Confidence releases dopamine and serotonin, fortifying you. This isn't mysticism, it's biology. Abraham Lincoln wrestled with doubt daily, but guarded his mind like a fortress of hope. His internal victories paved the way for his external triumphs. When old thought patterns sneak in, I can't, this is impossible, I always fail, recognize them as intruders, escort them out and replace them. I am finding a way. This is tough but solvable. I learn and grow with every attempt. The battle for your destiny is fought in the silent chambers of your mind, where no one witnesses the war but you. Will you let fear bankrupt your dreams, or will you appoint courage as your new CEO? The restructuring of your mental empire is grueling work, confronting comfortable lies, embracing hard truths, staying vigilant when you're weary. But no external victory can compensate for internal defeat. Your mind is the soil. What you plant, you harvest. The old managers promised safety but delivered chains. The new leadership offers nothing but possibility and delivers nothing less than freedom. Transform failure into wisdom. The weaker self hoards failures like trophies of defeat. But failure doesn't define your worth. It's tuition paid for wisdom. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the sum of what you choose to become after them. Celebrate the lessons, not the wounds. Henry Ford went bankrupt multiple times before building an empire. His failures weren't contradictions to his success. They were its foundation. The master fails more than the novice dares to try. Failure with reflection is education no wealth can buy. When you revisit your past, ask, Are these graves or stepping stones? The weak self mourns setbacks. The strong self mines them for gold. Why did this happen to me? Becomes, how can this serve me? Release the grip of perfectionism. Failure isn't shameful. It's instructive. Every mistake is a comma in your unfolding narrative, not a full stop. What if your deepest falls are preparing you for your highest rise? What if the darkness you've endured qualifies you to guide others to light? You are not your failures. You are the architect of what comes next. Craft your identity with intention. Stop waiting to find yourself. Identity isn't a hidden treasure buried in circumstance. It's a structure you build with deliberate intention. Wandering through life hoping to stumble upon your true self is a recipe for wasted years. The extraordinary choose who they will be and align every action to that vision. Write a declaration of your future self, the values you'll embody, the skills you'll master, the impact you'll create. Read it daily until it's etched into your soul, until your chosen identity becomes inseparable from your being. Helen Keller, born blind and deaf, declared herself a scholar, writer, and advocate. Her limitations were irrelevant against her decision to become. Act as if you already are who you aspire to be. The marathon runner once gasped after a single mile. The confident speaker once trembled before a crowd. Declaring, I am, feels like a lie at first, but every transformation begins with this bold fiction. The mask becomes the face. Will you drift like a leaf on the currents of chance, or build like a master craftsman with purpose? Each choice shapes your identity. Stop searching. Create yourself. Turn pain into your ally. The weaker self flees from pain, but pain is not your jailer. It's your gateway to greatness. Comfort locks you away from potential. Pain purifies you, testing your readiness for extraordinary things. The butterfly's struggle against the chrysalis strengthens its wings for flight. When your muscles burn, you're forging strength. When rejection stings, you're paying the price of courage. When grief overwhelms, it measures the depth of your love. Pain isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Smile through the ache and whisper, this is sculpting me. Apostle Paul sang hymns in a Roman prison, finding freedom in chains. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice. Between hardship and response lies your power to assign meaning. Will you curse your trials or crown them as initiations into wisdom? In kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing pottery with gold, the breaks become the most beautiful parts. Your wounds can be badges earned on destiny's battlefield. Pain asks, will you grow bitter or better? Decide to be refined, not consumed by life's fires. Ignite action with deadlines. Goals without deadlines are dreams without a heartbeat. The weak say someday, the strong say by this day. The cemetery of potential is crowded with unwritten books, unlaunched ventures, and unfulfilled transformations, all poisoned by vague timing. Choose one goal, the one that will ripple through your life with the greatest impact. Set a deadline bold enough to demand your all, realistic enough to be achievable. Then move heaven and earth to meet it. Napoleon's genius wasn't just strategy, it was temporal discipline, using urgency to sharpen focus. Time dulls enthusiasm. Deadlines spark creative tension. The risk of failure fuels ingenuity. What dream have you deferred to someday? Circle a date in red and pursue it with obsession. Write it down, share it with someone who'll hold you accountable, and treat each day as a battle for your destiny, because it is. The clock ticks with indifference to your intentions. Seize it. Surround yourself with eagles. Association is acceleration. The weaker self thrives among complainers, cynics, and cowards, but you are destined to soar. Your inner circle sets your ceiling. Mediocre company breeds mediocre results. Excellence ignites excellence. Andrew Carnegie surrounded himself with industry titans before becoming one. Your conversations program your mind, excuses or solutions, fears or ambitions. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Seek mentors who stoke your ambition. Join communities that demand growth. Distance yourself from negativity, not out of cruelty, but as stewardship of your one irreplaceable life. Who sharpens your sword? Who challenges your limits? Choose eagles over pigeons. Your future is molded by the company you keep. Slay the fear of judgment. The fear of judgment is a cage you construct bar by bar. Those who mock or criticize aren't your judges. They're spectators, irrelevant to your destiny. Their disapproval feels like proof of your inadequacy, but it's a mirage in your mind. Speak when your voice trembles. Stand tall when your knees shake. Act despite the naysayers. Galileo faced scorn, but reshaped science. Truth doesn't need applause. Most people are too absorbed in their own lives to obsess over yours. Would you rather drown in their fleeting opinions or sail toward your true north? Killing the fear of judgment means sifting constructive feedback from meaningless noise. The cage door is open. Step out. Create fearlessly. Live authentically. Crush doubt with relentless action. Doubt is a stealthy predator whispering, "You're not ready. You're not enough." It poses as prudence, urging you to wait, but doubt feeds on stillness and crumbles under momentum. When it says pause, charge. When it says hide, roar. The Wright brothers built wings while the world scoffed, Every breakthrough was once deemed impossible until someone acted through uncertainty. Doubt doesn't just steal achievements, it robs you of the person you could become. See doubt as resistance to conquer, not a signal to retreat. Its presence means you're stretching beyond your limits. When uncertainty strikes, do the thing you doubt. Action exposes doubt as mostly illusion. Decide who you'll be, act on it, and let doubt wail as you forge your wings and fly. Persevere through every storm.
The weaker self quits at the first obstacle, seeing it as a sign to surrender. But greatness is for marathoners, not sprinters. Perseverance is your sword and shield. Victory demands tenacity, not instant results. Vow to outlast every setback. Problems endure until your persistence surpasses them. Most abandon their dream steps from breakthrough, like miners quitting 1 foot from gold. The universe tests your resolve with rejection, failure, and delay, not to punish, but to qualify you. Declare that nothing can make you quit. Perseverance isn't a choice. It's your identity. When talent falters, luck fades, and motivation wanes, perseverance endures, forging dreams into reality. Bridge vision with execution.
Vision without action is a mirage. The weaker self dreams vividly but acts feebly. Break your dream into daily steps and attack them with precision. The novel is today's 500 words. The business is today's 3 calls. Florence Nightingale didn't just envision better hospitals. She scrubbed floors, changed bandages, and slashed mortality rates from 42% to 2%. The universe rewards action, not intention. History honors builders, not dreamers. The dreamer basks in possibility without pain. The doer trades comfort for achievement. Will your vision remain a ghost or take flesh and blood? Each choice, waking early, tackling the hard task, compounds into dreams delivered or deferred. Create, don't just conceive. The world craves dreamers who build. Declare war on waiting. Waiting is a lethal habit. The perfect moment. Ideal conditions. They're myths that paralyze greatness. Your mind conjures reasons to delay. More knowledge, more resources, more clarity. But readiness comes from action, not anticipation. Alexander Graham Bell built the telephone while others theorized. Movement births clarity. Action spawns opportunity. Answers lie in doing, not waiting. Count the days lost to hesitation. The cemetery holds unwritten stories and unspoken loves, all waiting for a moment that never came. Dreams don't die suddenly. They fade through prolonged inaction. Seize today with fierce purpose. End the habit of waiting now. Your life is slipping. Begin. Forge character in the shadows. Character isn't forged under spotlights, but in unseen hours, silent battles, and lonely nights. The weaker self craves applause, but true strength forms when no one watches. Abraham Lincoln's private defeats, business failures, lost elections, personal tragedies, carved him into the leader who saved a nation. Dark periods aren't punishment. They're preparation, revealing your core when validation vanishes. Work for the work's sake, not praise. The foundation of greatness lies beneath the surface, unseen by admirers. Will you falter without recognition or draw strength from purpose? Build character for endurance, not display. The depth of your trials determines the height of your rise. Channel your energy with precision. Your attention is your greatest currency. The scattered self drifts, pulled by distractions. Where you focus, energy flows. Nikola Tesla's breakthroughs stem from laser-like focus, not just genius. A violinist practicing with presence for 2 hours outshines one distracted for 5. Relationships falter from inattention. Books go unwritten from fractured focus. Guard your attention like a fortress. Say no to the trivial to embrace the vital. Carve out deep work periods. Lean into the discomfort of focus and align your energy with purpose. The scattered mind lingers at the starting line. The focused mind forges mastery. Where is your attention? It reveals your true priorities. Free yourself with forgiveness. Resentment is a prison of your own making, its walls built from bitter memories. The weaker self polishes grievances, mistaking them for strength, but unforgiveness binds only you, draining energy from your future. Nelson Mandela, after 27 years in prison, chose forgiveness, freeing himself and a nation. Forgiveness isn't excusing wrong, it's reclaiming your emotional freedom. Feel the pain, then release it. Not for them, but for you. I release this because I deserve to soar. Each act of letting go fuels growth and purpose. At life's end, will you see years guarding wounds or a life of courage that release the past? The keys to freedom are yours. Break the chains of validation. The hunger for approval is an ancient addiction, delivering fleeting highs that leave you emptier. The weaker self orchestrates days around it, fishing for compliments. But validation is counterfeit. It never fills the void. True power comes from severing this need. Anonymous craftsmen built Rome's enduring foundations without viral fame. Their reward was purpose fulfilled. Practice private excellence. Clean unseen corners, write unread journals, master skills without fanfare, delay sharing achievements, endure the discomfort of a validation fast. It's detox from a potent drug. Act from integrity, not for applause. The less you crave approval, the more authentic respect you draw. Build to last, not to dazzle. Live authentically and find power no praise can match. Act now. Your destiny awaits. The weaker self murmurs later. The champion bellows now. Time bows to no one's intentions. Only actions count. Joan of Arc charged into battle when others urged caution. Your future isn't tomorrow. It's this decision, this moment. What are you waiting for? Slay hesitation. Strike with purpose. The clock is relentless and history is watching. If you're ready to transcend limits, silence doubts, and seize your power, start today. No permission needed. No perfect moment required. The weak self spins excuses. The strong self acts. Decide now. Rise up. Become who you were always meant to be. The world doesn't need more dreams. It needs you to build yours with fire and unrelenting will.